All right, welcome everybody. Another episode. Like I said, we have on the panel on the station. We have Andrea Dawkins, Tracy Brown, Jason Harris, and myself, Issa Bolden. Again, we're a group of men coming together to enlighten, incite, and encourage people, men and women, as they take this journey of life, go through this journey called life, and how to finesse through it and deal with it, and through the obstacles and twists and turns. And so today, what I've noticed a lot today, we're going to talk about the challenges of men, right? So I've noticed that there's been a lack of, it's been a while, but I've noticed it a lot recently, and from my end, that there's a lot of lack of manhood when it comes to just nowadays, especially when raising kids, and because there's a lot of killings. I live in Portsmouth. Well, I'm from Portsmouth and I stay in Portsmouth, but there's a lot of it's everywhere, but there's a lot of shootings going on, and these shootings involve young people out of like high school, middle school. And I'm like, where's men to kind of help these young men? So today we want to talk about the challenges of men, and kind of hopefully we can get some answers into how we as men should be, right? So first we want to start with, can you define what a man is? What is a man meant to be and do in your eyes? What is a man meant to be and do in your eyes, from your perspective? Who would like to start?
TB, well, everybody don't jump. Dre, you spoke first.
TB. You do a series on this, don't you, Tracy?
Something like that. You go for it.
Lead us off.
Well, I think that's an open-ended. I can get very passionate when we talk about this, but I believe, first of all, when I hear the word man, especially a godly man, first thing that comes to mind is me, is head of household. And I don't want to get into what's going on, to be, how can I say, sexist or what have you. But today I see, let me stick to it. I believe a man, first of all, being a godly man, one who's strong, bring the gospel to his family, lead his family. He's a provider and caretaker over his family as well. And he likes in taking the helm and taking the leadership of his home. And he's also humble enough to accept criticism, and he's able to acknowledge when he hasn't done a good job, but he remembers that God put him on the watch and made him the head and not the tail. And that kind of keep it right down that lane, and I'll go into some other things later.
I can dig it. Jason. I think you're muted.
He kind of like, yeah. Pass the ball.
I'm sorry. I don't mute.
No, it's all good. What? So the question is, I'm gonna restate it. What is a man meant to be and do in your eyes? What is a man meant to be and do?
Every man's not married. So I think it's a maturity that comes in a manhood compared to a male. And so it's making sound decisions that's going to place you in a place to be productive in your next phase or next step in life. And that is leading a family, that is a business, that is a job, that is a career. That's all providing for yourself, even your own mental state. Because I believe a lot of the mental things that goes on or hurting people are it's bad decisions. And so I think it's about a maturity level that comes with making the right decisions for your life. And I would just say that to add it to it, it's about godliness to me. I think that it helps you become a true definition of a man. A man that knows how to follow is a powerful man. I believe the saying goes is before you can lead, you must learn how to follow. And so as I follow Christ, even if you don't have nobody else, if you're the top of your food chain and you're the CEO, it can be dangerous. But I believe as we all are Christian men following Christ is a level of maturity, knowing you can't do it all, knowing you're not as macho as you believe. It comes to a place where we all have to understand that we need help. And that's not being weak and not always looking for a handout, but God is who he say he is. So I think it's a level of maturity is a nutshell. And then that'll take you to what you are becoming or where you're going. If the second part of that question that you asked.
Yeah. Cool.
I agree with all of that. I think becoming a man or manhood really is defined for me personally was when I developed a relationship with God. Okay. And because it changed, because I think before then, I don't think I was. I think I was a knucklehead. It just changed at that point, and I can understand, like my eyes were open. I do remember that, like, whoa, snap. Look at all of the things that I thought was being a man, but really wasn't. But I think that's the fundamental key to being a man is to have a relationship with God. And then all these other things fall in place, like Jason and Tracy was saying, leading your family, protecting your family, providing for your family. Because if you don't provide for your family, then what? You're worse than a sinner. That's a scary verse, man. That probably
It is.
It's 1 Timothy 5:8, worse than the infidel.
Yeah, I agree. That's a hard one.
It's very scary because especially for us Black men, not always given the opportunities to do that, or it's such a struggle to do that. Like on my job, that sometimes I hear people say, we got to do 5 times better, and I'm sure y'all heard that. That's kind of not fair, is it? But I think that's, there's qualifications for that, and the Bible clearly states those qualifications for men. So hopefully that answers that question.
Hey guys, one thing I like to bring out from like what you said, Andre, and you know how we hear the term "man up"?
Mm-hmm.
When I hear the term "man up," what really gets me with that is, I believe we man up when we're strong enough to, quote unquote, I guess another word, fess up and admit when we messed up. I think it takes a real man to say, okay, I'm jacked up, I messed up, forgive me, let's move on, instead of running from it and hide it. That thing has been like my pet peeve all my life. When I see people, they know they're wrong and don't want to, own up to being wrong. That's an irking thing with me. I believe a real man is like, I messed up, and whatever the consequences is, I'm gonna deal with it. Let's roll.
Yeah, totally agree, Tracy. And me being one who messes up, the one thing that hits me though is the voice, the quiet voice, and just it'll break you. It'll break you down.
Yes, it will.
And if you're not listening, then that's a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
You can't hear it, that's a problem. So, I mean, listening. Jason said it, man. I was like really clapping on this when he talked about submission. Submission to that voice, to that word, you know, is key.
Yeah.